Hello and welcome everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. Day 3 of Pascal's Land's End to John O'Groats, raising money for the Royal Navy and Royal Marines charity, and particularly around mental health awareness. Where are you today, Pascal?
Yeah, hello, Steve. So it's a billion degrees again. I'm just in a different county. I am now in Wiltshire, having passed through now Cornwall, Devon, and Somerset. So county number 4, still a billion degrees though.
Okay, it looks like you've got a nice leafy glade there, but I'm a bit worried about your sense of direction because you're heading south.
Yeah, yes, yeah. So ultimately, in this challenge, I'm trying to get to John O'Groats, which is the northernmost point, obviously, in the northeasterlymost point in Scotland. But I'm heading in a southerly direction, so something not quite right there. I promise it's not because of some planning done in a pub with a few drinks. I'm aiming for Portsmouth because tomorrow morning I've got a morning of kind of like media, PR type stuff for the Navy, including seeing 2SL, so the second Sea Lord, so the second most senior officer in the military. And then I'm meeting up with the charity guys, so a bunch of the guys from the RNRMC. And then finally, I'm meeting up with the Royal Navy's mental health and well-being team to talk through some of the initiatives that they've got, because we're going to work as like a case study for some of the initiatives they're pushing out over the next few months and over the next year, building towards the US next year. So yeah, there's method to this madness. It's all going fine. I'm just going to Portsmouth, and then I'll definitely be going north for the rest of the trip.
Well, the good news is you can't go any further south, really.
No.
Heading north out of Portsmouth, just keep going, basically.
Yeah.
So
the only option.
Yep. What happened yesterday? You bumped into some school children, I believe, on your travels.
Oh, yes, yes. So I went from, I very rapidly went from hero to zero with a group of school children on the outskirts of Taunton. So when we last spoke, I was in Exeter. I just finished off like the Devon and Cornwall hills, and it was onto the sweet, sweet flatness of the Somerset levels, which was epic. So there I was, like on a bit of a emotional high, because at that point I'd done best part of like 400k in a couple of days, and I'd stopped off some more water, you know, at a petrol station, doing the normal trick of getting like 4 litres of water down me. I sat outside the petrol station. I had my bike leaned up against the wall, and this bunch of school kids came tottering down. They were like late primary school, so it must have been like maybe 9 or 10, something like that in terms of age. There's a group of 20 of them, and they stopped opposite me. And the great thing with school kids, or like kids in general, is that there's no pleasantries, there's no airs and graces. It's just straight into it. It's like, all right, mate, is that your bike? And I was like, all right, guys, yeah, no, that is my bike. And they're like, what have you got all those bags on it? I was like, right, okay, straight in there with the big questions. So I started talking them through the fact that I was keeping my sleeping system in there. I had like my sleeping bag, my bivvy bag, and at night sometimes I whip those things out and I sleep by the roadside, and they were loving it. And they're like, come have a look, have you really got that in there? You fit that all in there? And I was like, yeah. So I was putting it all out, and they're like prodding it as kids do, you know, let's not worry about COVID, let's just start prodding your sleeping bag, that's fine. And then they start saying like, well, right, where are you going next? I was like, oh, I'm off to Scotland next, still on that emotional high. And they're like, are you getting there tomorrow? And I was like, well, no, I'm not getting to Scotland tomorrow, because it's like another 700 or 800 kilometers, so probably not. And then at that point they're like, oh, okay. And they sort of carried on their way. So I'd gone from like hero, sleeping by the roadside, to not being in Scotland tomorrow, to an absolute zero, and off they went. So, but hopefully it created a lasting impression with some of them anyway, even if I didn't impress them by not getting to Scotland tomorrow. So yeah, an interesting interaction.
So I think we probably ought to have a chat with their geography teacher, don't you? I think there might be a learning opportunity there.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, so I was absolutely crushed after that, but carried on regardless. So yeah, an interesting little meetup. You know what kids are like.
Yeah, so pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and head to Yvelton. So that was a bit of a trip down memory lane for you, I believe.
Yeah, no, it was. So from Taunton, it was about 50 or 60k, and all like deadpan, flat, amazing, like just whizzing through the Somerset country lanes. And yeah, ultimately ending up at Yvelton, which is, as an aircrew officer on attack helicopters, that's kind of where I did my training. When I was on frontline ops, that was the base I always came back to. So I'd say, like, in terms of my military home, that is probably my military home, Yves. And as I was going in towards Yvelton, I sort of recognized all the pubs in the local area, having sampled most of them, and I knew where I was. And it was like a comfort blanket, like drawing me back into the base. And obviously on base, I know loads of people. So it was brilliant. Yeah, like going back to my military home is how I described yesterday, which was nice. Yeah.
So when you landed at Yvelton, to use the helicopter type speak,
yeah,
the air crew, it sounds like, decided to offer you some assistance with some facilities on your bike. Do you want to tell me a bit about those?
Oh, yes. So I bumped into a bunch of mates over at one of the squadrons, and they were looking around. And again, similar to the school children, which is a bit of a worry, they're like, I can't believe you've got all your kit in those small bags. And I'm like, yeah, yeah. So I taught them through it. And then they saw on the front, I don't know if you can see, but like I've got like a single flip flop on the
Yeah.
front of the bike. And now I've clearly got the other flip flop tucked underneath the back of the bike, but they only saw one flip flop. So there they were saying, you've only got one flip flop. Hang on, mate. We're going to go and grab you another flip flop. I was like, I've got another flip flop. It's on the back. And I was like, oh my God, what is wrong with these people? So trying to be helpful. But yeah, I was all right for flip flops. So, but it's lovely. It comes from a good place, which is nice. So yeah, it felt nice.
They also found you a bike pump, apparently. I hope they don't use that on the tires of the helicopters.
Yeah, so they came out, one of them was like, I've got a bike pump in here somewhere. I was like, again, mate, thank you, but I'm covered for bike pumps, you know, because I am actually prepared for this cycle, which I think surprised them. But yeah, so again, all came from like a lovely place and amazing to catch up with people. So no, really good to be back home.
Cool. So you've got a jersey on, obviously, which has got Royal Navy all over it, Royal Navy, Royal Marines charity, so on and so forth, supporting the Royal Marines, the naval family. Brilliant. So yeah. What does it say about the journey? Because you tell me there's a bit of a problem with your jerseys, because you're obviously planning to be somewhere else this year, weren't you?
Yeah, so the original plan was to be cycling across the US this year, which we're now doing next year, which is like a 5,000K ride over the course of 35 days, going from California to Florida, again, raising money for the charity. But obviously, because of COVID, we're not able to do that. So we did a Land's End to John O'Groats ride this year. The problem being we'd had a bunch of custom like jerseys and merchandise made up for the US ride next year. So nothing done for the Land's End to John O'Groats ride. So I'm just riding around in my standard cycling top, Royal Navy cycling team's top, which doesn't really say anything about the jersey, about the journey. So last night over dinner, I was with a few aircrew buddies and family. And we got, one of them had like a small kid and they'd obviously gone to sleep. So he ducked upstairs and he pulled out one of his kids' old school tops, like an old polo shirt. It was like, let's just make our own. I was like, oh no, this is going to end badly. So he just started cutting up one of his kids' polo shirts from school. And I was like, is he going to be all right that he's cutting up his top? He's like, yeah, it's too small for him anyway. I was like, right, okay, fine. So we sort of cut it all out. And then we've got this black marker, waterproof marker. We were just writing up about the journey, like where I'm going to, how you can like donate to the charity. So every time I stop and someone sees me from behind, they at least know what I'm doing, where I'm trying to go to. So, I mean, it's pretty Heath Robinson, but it says what I'm doing. And if it results in like one more £10 donation going to charity, then it's a win. So I bought some safety pins. I'm going to pin it on from tomorrow onwards. Probably not when I see Second Sea Law, because he's like, what are you doing? This is all a bit amateur. So after I've seen him, then I'll pop it on. And for the rest of the trip, I'll wear that all the way up is the plan.
So that sounds proper punk, doesn't it? Vivian Westwood is going to be really proud of you. And I bet you anything you like, it's the little boy's favourite tops. And when he got up this morning to find...
I know. Where's my #1 top, Dad? Anyway, get to school. So yeah, but hopefully it'll work and it'll draw in a couple more donations, which would be mega. So yeah.
So you've also met up with some cycling friends as well, or people that have become friends, I guess.
Yeah, and so these were guys from the Royal Navy, Royal Marine Cycling Association who are Yvelton based. And this morning, for about the first 50 or 60K, they were riding with me, and it was brilliant because I'd realized at that point we were chatting away like all the way. There was like no silence, talking about all sorts of stuff. And that was the first time I'd ridden with anyone for this ride. So it was really good just to have constant flowing chat. And actually the kilometers passed by like quite a lot quicker actually when you're chatting with them. And these guys, a couple of them have been in for like 30 odd years. And it was really interesting to speak to them about the mental health awareness approach that the Navy takes now versus when they would have joined up, which would have been like 70s or 80s. And we've just made such good progress, particularly in the last 5 or 10 years. Like there's still a long way to go, but it was fascinating hearing how things were when they joined up with respect to mental health versus how things are now. And we are definitely on the right track. We've got a long way to go, but we are headed in the right direction, which is all you can ask for, really, isn't it? So yeah, great morning of cycling and chatting with those guys about some really interesting topics.
That's really good. I was whilst you were probably cycling, I was having a cooked breakfast this morning with a friend.
You're like a morale crusher, mate, aren't you? I was sat in an air-conditioned room having my eggs and bacon and eggs or whatever. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah,
meanwhile,
life goes on, whatever you're doing.
Yeah, it's not all about me, is it? So,
no, it's not. Although this is meant to be, but still. But anyway, I was talking to it's Mike, who's our co-host on our podcast. So he's ex-Navy himself, and I told him about what we're up to in terms of the work we're doing, and he said, "Crikey, doing that on your own must be really, really hard." And I think the point you've just made about having some buddies for 60 kilometers makes such a huge difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does, actually. And the other thing that's making quite a big difference is, like, Dan's obviously out in Afghan at the moment, but he gets like internet connectivity maybe once every couple of days. And what he prioritizes during that time is watching this video that I've made. And then he almost feels like he's part of that journey. And then he pings me a couple of WhatsApp messages. And again, it's great to feel like I'm not just doing this on my own. Like, Dan is tracking me as often as he can. He loves these little videos. He feels part of the journey, even though he's not. So yeah, it makes a huge difference to know people are either thinking about you, or if possible, even cycling along with you. It's great. Made a big difference this morning. The morning flew by.
So did Dan actually cycle along with you, so to speak, in Afghan? Tell me that story again.
Yes. So he dropped me a WhatsApp message, and he'd seen the video, and it was like 10 minutes long. He was like, I was so enthused. I was like all optimistic, and I just wanted to be part of it. So I found this little exercise bike in the middle of Afghan somewhere, and he jumped on. He's like, I'm going to bang out 50 miles, like to show I'm related to Pascal and the big journey. And then he said he got about 3 miles in. He was like, it was about 48 degrees. And he was like, right, I'm stopping now. That's enough. There's enough of that. So I was like, well, you were there in spirit, I suppose, Dan. Thanks for the 3 miles. It's better than no miles, isn't it? And he's like, yeah, I'm not doing that again. I was like, no, fair enough. So here's me complaining about being 30 degrees, and he was trying to do it in 48 degrees. So yeah, but good to know that he's connected.
Yeah, but let's just talk about the distance covered. What a lightweight he is, anyway.
Yeah, I know, absolutely amateur. I think he's made up the whole Afghan thing. He's actually sat at home because he didn't do the training. But yeah.
He's probably on a PlayStation doing it.
Yeah, like all the kids. Yeah. So no, but it was great. It's great to connect with him, and to have him drop me like a WhatsApp message every now and then, like, makes a huge difference. So yeah, it's great that he watches these videos. You're right, Dan.
Absolutely. But in all seriousness, I think, you know, for our viewers, it's really important to understand how difficult doing this on your own actually is, and these to not underestimate this challenge, which you've already highlighted. And I think that's really, really important that we get that message across.
Yeah, and if anyone's out there and you're checking out the Instagram, then please just like drop a quick message, or if you're going to make a donation, like pop a little message along with it, because it's as much about how you're seeing it and how you feel about it as much as the money. So like, yeah, just please keep those messages coming in, because it really does make a big difference to me. Every few hours I'll stop and check the messages, and if there's a couple of good ones in there, it really spurs me on for the next couple of hours. So yeah, it's brilliant. The interaction makes a huge difference.
Brilliant.
So please do it.
Definitely. So you heard it there. So comments, whether it's on the Just Giving page, if you make a donation on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you find the boys, or boy in this instance, that would be great. Yeah. So tomorrow morning, you've got a lot of PR type stuff, haven't you? So you want to tell us a little bit about that, please?
Yeah. So just finishing off today, it's another probably 90, 100K down to Portsmouth, in Portsmouth tonight. And then tomorrow morning, there's a whole bunch of Navy PR media stuff going on. So meeting with Second Sea Lord, and then meeting with the charity guys from the RNRMC. So seeing them in person, because it's all been virtual, the interaction we've had thus far. And then also catching up with the mental health and wellbeing team, so the Navy internal teams who run all of those great initiatives. So yeah, a whole morning catching up with various people before getting on the bike at lunchtime for a slightly shorter day, just 100K up to Northwood tomorrow afternoon. So like a semi-rest day almost, just an afternoon rather than a full day cycling. So yeah, looking forward to it. And the face-to-face meeting, looking forward to that, because that makes a big difference, I think.
So yeah, it sounds like a nice easy day. I'll celebrate by having a little sit out in the garden down here at garden at Fort Cumberland.
Here we go.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm with you in spirit. You know I am.
Yeah, with a little fan and a Diet Cola with some ice, maybe, Steve. Yeah, you know, you kick back, relax. You've done your bit. Thanks, Steve.
And I know where both my flip-flops are, by the way, as well.
Well, so do I. That wasn't the issue. It was the other idiots. But they're lovely people, and I love them very much.
Well-meaning idiots. Very kind of them. Make sure you all donate, please. Right.
Yeah.
So a couple of comments on your Just Giving page. I think I might have missed one yesterday. And this is from Seb. I think such a great cause and a wonderful thing to be doing to raise money for. Wish you the best of luck. BZ.
Yeah, I managed to catch it. Yeah, so I think Seb picked it up by the Twitter feed and instantly said, like, great challenge, and pushed some money our way. So a big shout out and a big thanks to Seb, which I did on the social media. So thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Brilliant. And I've got a lady here, or you've got a lady here called Gillian Piggott. Epic challenge, guys. Enjoy following your progress on the socials. Sure you will smash it.
Oh, brilliant. It's nice to know that people have got a bit of faith in you and are following you. So that's a lovely message. Thank you very much for that one. Good
stuff. I think that's it from us, isn't it? I mean, obviously the key thing is to head to the Just Giving page and donate whatever it is that you can afford, and do the gift aid thing as well if you're a UK taxpayer, I believe it is. One other thing, though, of course, I forgot to mention is that we're uploading these to YouTube, aren't we? So these live videos we're adding to YouTube. So if you're on Twitter or YouTube or what have you, you don't have to be on Facebook to see these. And we had quite a lot of chatting, didn't we, last night about setting up some social media stuff on your Instagram page. So the latest video, I think the plan is, correct me if I'm wrong, that the latest video will be available as a link on your profile on Instagram. So if you hit that, there'll be a device that allows you to see multiple things. Is that right? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So on the Instagram, which I push out nightly updates between sort of 8 or 9 at night, just a quick summary of the day. Right at the bottom of that, I'll push in a little tipper to say, right, head to the bio. There's a link in there. You click on that, and straight away you get like a daily catch up, a 10-minute daily catch up. This video is on there, so give it a watch if you want to see what it was like on the ground on the day. It's all on the Instagram. So yeah, just click the links.
So that's absolutely brilliant. And also the Just Giving link's available in there as well, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So for the fundraising, that's also within there. So any donations, much appreciated. Thank you.
Brilliant, Pascal. Thank you once again, and I will see you tomorrow.
Brilliant. I'm looking forward to it. I bet it's 1 billion degrees again tomorrow.
You wouldn't want it any other way.
No. I'll be in a different county, but I bet it'll be 1 billion degrees.
Well, good luck nonetheless.
I should be a weatherman.
Right, so see you tomorrow.
Yeah, cheers, Steve. Bye.
Bye.